Hello and welcome to DDOCast episode 694, recorded live on 28th January 2023. I'm your host, Kaleva. I like to talk about Dungeons and Dragons online nearly every weekend. You can catch us in, you can watch us in through Twitch, YouTube, the DDO forums, iTunes, or join our website at DDOcast.com. The DDOcast is hosted by Buzzsprout, the awesome podcast hosting network. They're usually available within a few recording. The next show will probably be February 4th, 2023. You can stay up to date by following us on our social media pages or our website, DDOcast.com. On the podcast this week, we're going to talk about Update 57.2, Snow Peaks, the producer's letter, the Q&A with Severlin and Bordavon, and I'm also going to mention that Arcaniverse will be interviewing developer Torque tonight, January 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern on his Twitch channel. They're going to be talking about the Skeletons in the Closet raid and the secrets and how that came about. So if you check that out and learn more about it, go ahead and head on over to Arcaniverse's Twitch channel tonight, January 28th at 7 p.m. But first, let's get into this week's sales. So this week, the sales through January 26th, they're starting January 26th through February 20th. February 2nd is the Tensor's Weapon Box is available. So the Wish of Inheritance is available. Get 30% off select stat tomes and skill tomes, tomes of heroic and epic learning, select enhancement trees, and the weekly coupon for a free Bellow opening using the coupon code INSTANTOPEN, INSTANN, and those are good through February 2nd. Okay. So kind of jump right into a little bit of feedback there. We're going to jump right into episode update 57.2 release notes. Not a lot here, other than Snow Peaks arriving, which we are also going to talk about on the show. That'll be at the end. We'll go over all of the new stuff because there are some filigree that have been added, and all that. So bug fixes in 57.2. Corrected an issue where monsters using Greater Shout could automatically stun players. The description of Greater Shout now clarifies that the spell rolls stun and damage saves independently. It is no longer possible for the Eye of Vecna, curse from the Skeletons in the Closet raid, to follow players outside of the raid. Good. I don't do that raid that much, so it never happened to me, but anything following you from a quest outside of a quest is generally a bad thing. And the Storm Rage ability no longer harms party members. And that concludes Update 57.2 release notes. Not a lot, but some good stuff in there. I think the biggest one is that the Eye of Vecna no longer follows you from the raid. Because it has killed people going into the next raid too. Okay, so that's good to know. Pointed out from chat. So that's the release notes. Next up on the list is let's go ahead and talk about, well, we'll save Snow Peaks for later because we'll get into the producer's letter now. So the producer's letter. Valero put this out, kind of giving us the roadmap of the year. It's nice that we get this. However, I'm a little underwhelmed by it. It's to sum up this entire letter, it says we're doing stuff, and that's about it. But I'm glad that they are still doing stuff. Let's not confuse that. Um, in Q1, which we're in right now, we have the Snow Peaks Festival, which is going on right now. Update 58 is coming, Unlikely Heroes, the 17th anniversary party, and also PAX East will have a live panel discussion. I know some people talking about going to that. I am one of them. Just need to figure out what day, the logistics, and all that stuff. I'd really love to go meet the devs and just check it out and hopefully be a part of that live panel discussion. Um, the so in the producer's letter here, it talked about where we were last year. We got Isle of Dread, dinosaurs, and we finally knew who the big bad was. Big bad evil guy turned out to be Vecna, which was cool. I'm kind of a fan of the Codex storyline. I think it's been drug out a bit long, but and also in future shows we're going to be taking a really deep look at this whole storyline. And in Q2 with the mini expansion Vecna Unleashed, the whole storyline is going to come to a peak. So I'm excited about that from a lore standpoint and all that. So then again in Q2, we're going to get that mini expansion, forum revamp. Pre-purchases for the mini expansion will start in April, according to this. Forum revamp, which will be nice. Updated forums. In Q3, we're going to have Hardcore Season 8. And then we're also going to get the Droam and Raid update and Crystal Cove. Droam is going to be fun. I was a big fan of the Attack on Stormreach. I almost said expansion. It wasn't an expansion. The Attack on Stormreach module, I think is what they were called then. Anyways, that series of quests, I really like it. Was a big fan of it. Wanted to see more of it, and it just kind of died with us stopping the invasion from growing. So that would be nice to do that. And the raid update, which I'm not sure what all that entails. There was some discussion on that with Severlin and Cordovan a little bit during Cordovan's Fridays at 4 stream. So but we'll learn more as the year goes on, and hoping they do us right. Crystal Cove, I remember being really excited about that when it first came out. It was a super fun challenge, and the Kobold voices were a lot of fun. I don't think there's anything I want out of there now. I know they did change some things and updated some of the loot, but events are fun. Not all of them. Nobody's gonna like all of them, I think. But that will be coming in Q3, and then in Q4, Night Revels, which is a fun event. I liked it. I enjoyed Night Revels. We'll be getting a new adventure pack, Hardcore Season 9 redo. The way that they've been going, I think this will be a redo of Season 3 or 4, I think. It seems like they've been doing a new season, and then a redo season, new season, redo season. So we'll get Season 8 in Q3, and then a redo season in Q4. Speaking of hardcore, that ends February 7th. So if you are procrastinating on getting the character to level 20 or your favorite rules or anything else like that, like I have, now's the time to do it. It ends on February 7th. And then also in Q4, we'll get Festival again, which just ended the other. So, back to the rest of the producer's letter. They added archetypes to the game. She talks about a little bit about that. And the archetypes are fun. We're getting 3 new ones. I like them. I think it's a good thing for the game, gives us even more character customization and all that. But where are we going this year, she says. The 17th anniversary is coming up, and that's kind of hard to believe that this game has been around for 17 years. I personally started playing in 2010-ish, but for it to be in its 17th year, still actively being developed, still going strong, um, it's amazing. Wow, 17 years. So this is on the screen now is a work in progress rendering of their upcoming 17th anniversary armor. I like it, and I don't like it. Um, I like it. It looks cool. I don't like it because it's just all black and red. We need some more colors. With the cosmetic armors, I would really love it if we had got more variety in the colors. But and also, I'd also love to see the cosmetics closet. Um, yeah, I do like this armor. It looks pretty. It looks cool. So that's going to be a nice thing to farm out from the anniversary event. I was talking about the free quest. It will set the stage for the upcoming mini expansion in the spring, where players will help Morgrave University try and neutralize the threat posed by Vecna. Our long-running story will reach a peak, and we know you'll want to be a part of it. We'll have more information about the story and content of our mini expansion as we get closer to it. And after that, they'll be kicking off the new hardcore season this summer. The more rules change up. So, we're going to get a free quest in the before the mini expansion. The free quest, like I said, is going to help follow on from Morgrave University, the last quest that we just got, where we discover that Vecna again is behind collecting the planar eyes. So I'm excited to see that. Can't wait for it. Really want to see where this story is going. Like I said a little bit ago, we will be, in future shows taking a real deep look at the whole story. With Vecna, looking for some Easter eggs, seeing if there's any other secrets to be discovered through that. Moving on to the producer's letter, spoke last year about work being done to reduce lag and improve game performance. You saw some of the elements of that work get deployed in 2022. Work will continue in 2023. They've been focusing on the way the game communicates with itself, along with making some of our more complex systems more efficient behind the scenes. One reason for this focus is that we're able to measure the impact it has before and after. And while no one fix will banish lag for good, we are able to see the benefits of these small but steady improvements over time. Getting rid of lag is a good thing. So how do I want to put this? I don't know if they'll completely banish lag, but it has come a long way from how much lag was in the game before. It is nice to see that there is a concentrated effort to remove as much of it as possible to optimize a code base that is coming up on. Well, the code base itself is older than 17 years. Think about it, because the game was developed prior to its release. So there's, I know they've thrown out the term spaghetti code a few times. So just for them to continue addressing lag issues and making the game more efficient on the back end, these are things that we don't really see a lot of. We don't really notice a lot of the hard work that goes into that. That is appreciated. But anytime the game hiccups, we're gonna go, lag, no, right? But I feel it seems to be happening less and less. But it seems like when it happens, it's really bad for whatever reason. Like the other day, I just couldn't get into a quest. That was kind of frustrating. And there's nothing more frustrating than with a video game than not being able to play it. So all these improvements are a good thing. These incremental improvements are good. And I think at this point, the incremental updates and fixes are the way to go here, as opposed to trying to take on a big chunk and it's like just see if we can fix this or no fix that and just go about it that way. So let's moving on. There are more features and content happening later in the year, such as a legendary revamp of Droam content and another hardcore redo season. So this should give you a good sense of what is in store for the first part of 2023 and beyond. We can't wait to see you in game. Yes, the producer's letter in a nutshell says we're doing stuff. And I wish there would have been a little bit more specific, but at the same time, I understand why they can't be too specific. Laying out the roadmap, don't need to paint themselves into a corner, as it were. And yeah, so I like that we got it. Wish there was more, but we can't have everything we want. So with that, I do want to go over some notes that I took during the Severlin and Cordovon Q&A. They did talk about the mini expansion. People asked what the mini expansion was going to be. And basically they said, well, Salt Marsh is a mini expansion, so we can expect something of that size. They did mention that it will have a raid. Is nice. More raids, more fun. Raiding is fun. They also did talk about the Reaper points system. They were looking at doing some stuff on the back end to simplify the system, and that's one of those things where we're just kind of talking about how the game, or Talera mentioned, where the game communicates with itself. As I understand it, when Reaper mode first came out, it was very long to get into a Reaper quest. There was a bunch of stuff that was talked about. Simplifying the system, getting rid of the trees, doing lots of things, lots of different ideas. Nothing has been nailed down yet. There was even mention of sharing Reaper points from the party leader. They wanted to encourage Reaper questing. Reaper questing in and of itself was designed to promote party play and grouping. And that I like about it. And the higher you go when you R1, both once you've learned Reaper mode and gotten a few points under your belt, R1 isn't that difficult anymore. There is a point where R1 starts to become a little bit easier than Elite, just because of the power that your character gets then in Reaper mode due to those points. But then as you go up in the skulls, your R6, R8s, R10s, that level, the traditional party rules become more important, and group dynamics work or play more of a factor into it, which is nice. I like it. I both love and hate the Reaper questing. There's a lot of good about it. So, we should be getting a new Universal Tree this year. They mentioned a new Epic Destiny. They talked about the Droam update. Didn't give any specifics on what it was, but they did talk about it a little bit. So that's nice. And again, I'm excited about the Droam update and going back to Droam because, like I said, the attack on Stormreach chain was a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed it. And there was some people. It was a broad Q&A. Some of the other things that talked about is people have mentioned wanting to be able to do gifting. And the short answer was that gifting invites fraud. So they would love to have it so that we can gift, but as soon as they allow it, they have therefore invited fraud. That's not to say that they're not. I don't think they want. I think they want to do it in some form, but they just need to make sure that they protect the player base as much as possible. They can't just turn on gifting. With that, they are working on the two-factor authentication. So everyone said that the two-factor authentication can't happen until the launcher is updated, and the launcher couldn't be updated until the store was updated. I think I got that right. Essentially, the two-factor authentication is coming, but it is not the first domino in the line, and they need to get the other ones to fall first. Let's see. There's a lot of talk on armor class. It's a whole subject that I want to get into more when we talk about builds in general, build theory, is that AC is a bigger part of that. There was some talk about hirelings, how hirelings are not effective in Reaper, how managing hirelings is almost a skill that you need to learn. They also said that not all hirelings are created equal. And it's the AI of some of the hirelings are different. So it was an interesting discussion to listen to. To sum it up, doesn't sound like they're gonna do anything with hireling. As far as the AI goes, hirelings are hirelings. They did not give any word on an 11th filigree set or slot, not set, slot. And then the biggest one that I think people were clamoring for an answer on, both in that chat and on the forums after the producer letter and since the end of last year, is the VIP daily gold rolls. Last year they told us that because they were giving all this stuff away for free, all VIPs were going to be given a daily gold roll through the end of the year. We got them a little bit longer through the end of the year. They turned them off, and that's fine. They stuck to their word. The gold rolls were there. There's still not been any concrete word on what, I don't want to say what's going to replace them, but what's going to be given to VIP. One of the things that they are looking at is a month-to-month system, but they are just looking at it right now. And that frustrates me a little bit because it's been over a year and they're still just looking at stuff. I get that priorities differ, and there was a very aggressive schedule last year, which wound up in, I think, throwing a lot of stuff out of whack. But here we are in 23 with, or at the end of January of 23 with no new VIP benefit. If they do the month-to-month thing, it would be where you subscribe in January, you get a reward, you subscribe in Feb, and then you continue your subscription into February, get a better reward. Continue your subscription into March, get an even better reward. So the longer you continue your VIP for, the better your reward becomes. They're working on the back-end systems of it, and that's the important part that they need to get done. Make sure that they can do it before they say they are going to do it, which they have not said that they're going to do it. They're working on it. Which I can appreciate that they're not committing to it because I do design for a living. And once you tell the customer or your player base or whoever it is, once you commit to doing something, you've got yourself in the foot, essentially. You've painted yourself into the corner. You're stuck. Now you have to deliver on it. And some things are much easier done on paper than in reality. So I appreciate that they're being cautious, but at the same time, as a player, I want to know what's happening. All right. There also was, in regards to that, a post by Cordovan, and this is a quote this directly, if I can. From Cordovan, he said, nope, We know players are asking us to talk about our VIP program. We will have more to share when we can. We've been reading and discussing your feedback in recent weeks. Look forward to providing more information in, which is a non-answer. Um, it's it's frustrating that we're still waiting. They've had over a year to figure it out. Yes, we want an answer. The angry mob is in full effect, um, and it's getting a little crazy out here in the comments. You know what I mean? On this topic. Really wish they would hurry up. But at the same time, don't give us an answer just to give us an answer. Give us a good thing that is good, that will work, that is maintainable. And so, hot topic. It is a storm in the comments on that one, and all of that. So, yeah, all right. So I'll agree with Pump Folk over here in chat. He said the problem is they sent the VIP issue to the procrastination department, and yes, it feels like they really did. So, um, moving on from that, bring up the thread for Torque is going to be interviewed by Arcaniverse, and there's the the, the link twitch.tv/Arcaniverse. That's tonight, January 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be discussing the dark secret found in Isle of Dread and the alternate ending to the Skeletons in the Closet raid. There was a big community push to solve this with some people. I did see the stream where they had figured it out, and the excitement was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to listening in on this interview tonight, and to just see how that all goes. So, congrats to everybody who figured that out or worked on it. Um, and it's I think it's really fun when there are secrets and Easter eggs and all that stuff hidden throughout the game, the fan service, if you will. You know. So all right, so the last thing I wanted to talk about was Snow Peaks Festival. One important note on the hardcore server: I believe the level lockout is in place because the Snow Peaks is run level 1. The keys the keys that are earned through questing and in the chests are bound to or unbound. You can pass them to a level 1 tune to run through the the event. It is the same 2 events, the slide which we've had and the jumping one. Those are 2 events that you can do. The Eternal Sun Flask is still there in the same spot that it was in the jumping event, which is I did it last year. It took me a while to do it. It was difficult. I can say that I did it. Help some people get that Immortal Sunflash just by being able to Mario skill my way up to the checkpoint. It was, as far as a difficult challenge goes, that jumping one hits the nail on the head. I kind of agree with some who say that it should be more rewarding because it's more difficult, but at the same time, sometimes you just challenge yourself to challenge yourself, and I think that's what the intent was behind it. So it it is what it is. There's some pictures from the slide down the thing, grabbing your coins. The reward list. I hope that muted and you heard me clearing my throat just now. All right, so the reward list is here. There is some new filigrees that are being added. We'll go over those here in a minute. I'll go into game to look at them. A lot of the same, or the typical Snow Peak stuff. To the festive augment of charisma and dexterity, the ruby of the Snow Peaks, that cookies. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to game. Managed to do this there. There we go. Oh, here in the Hall of Heroes. That's where the Snow Peaks Festival or Flurry is located in the Hall of Heroes. Here, so you can access the Hall of Heroes through the marketplace or Evening Star. And take me to the peaks. That is the slide. That's the easy one. Just go right down the slide and do it, collecting your coins along the way. Take me to the climb. This is the more difficult one. That's where all the jumping is, and all that. Do it if you want to. That's where you'll get that eternal flask of. Oh, what is that? The eternal flask. That's where you'll get that item. At yeah. So do those if you want, or choose which one you want. I personally prefer doing the peaks, just because it's fun to just go sliding down the ramps. Let's see. So I'll click here. Can you show me what rewards you have? There's this, get a cookie, random cookie from the festival jar for 10 copper. You can get a candy cane for 1 silver, which are okay. It's a wand of heal moderate wounds that will work on Warforged. I got a bunch of them last year. Stashed them on a mule, and I think that's where they're still at. Thought I would use them, but I don't. AC Potion of Jumping for 10 silver, not too bad. The AC Potion of Haste, not too bad. If you want to stock up on some jumping or haste potions, or even you can also get the AC Potion of Freeze, AC Potion of Chill, Shield, AC Potion of Featherfall, AC Potion Protection from Fire, AC Potion of Resist Fire, AC Potion of Frostbite are all 10 silver for the for all those potions. A Snow Elemental Gem and silver. Summon a Snow Elemental. And it reminds me of or similar to the Gem of Winds, I believe it was, from Crystal Cove. You like your elemental or your summons. Some of the stock up on those now. A couple of the big ones, the Festive Augment of Dexterity, which is a stacking +2 festive bonus to Dexterity, along with Charisma. These are good. Also for the wealth building opportunity, farm them out, sell them on the Shard Exchange if you want to. Those are 100 silver and 20 gold. Yes, 20 gold. And Ruby of the Snow Peaks. in level 4 for the same price, which is, that seems kind of one of those things where like the festive rewards, the pricing seems a little bit odd. I can get the stacking +2 charisma for my character, or I can get a ruby that will deal 1d8 cold damage. And level 4 augment or level 22 augment for the same price. Seems a kind of like a no-brainer, like to go for the higher level stuff. The Ruby of the Iron Hand, same price. Bypass cold iron damage reduction, good for the melees. Sapphire of Snow Peak's speed, just a 30% enhancement bonus. Speed. Ruby Eye of the Glacier, 2% chance on hit to cause a burst of frost, so more cold damage. Get the +5 craftable trinket that is bound to character. Keep that in mind. If you want to get one of these craftable trinkets, they are bound to character on acquire. As soon as you purchase it, it is stuck to that character. Unless you really want to move it to another character and get the wish inheritance from the store for a lot of points. The festival armor. Cosmetic armor is always fun. Festival crown. I want to get this. Haven't yet. Over here on hardcore, so I don't have any cosmetics on this character. But the festival cloak, I really like this one, the way this looks. So it's a nice one. Crown of Frost is another one that I want to get, but I don't have it yet. The snow is for pets. You get the Snowman Pet Certificate and the Polar Bear Certificate, both for 800 gold coins. Weapons, all of the basic weapons types are available. The rapier, don't see minimum level on here, but I believe they're all going to be very similar with the chilling effect and minor freezing ice and a red slot. There are weapons available. They're all the same price, 20 gold and 100 silver. Oh, wait, no, let me back that up. There's 4 weapon types available. The Sword of Snow, Crystalline Frost Axe, which is a hand axe. The Ice Dragon's Tooth, which is a short sword. The Frozen Skull, which was a rapier. The Sword of Snow is a great sword. And I was right, they do all have the same effects to them. So the Snow Peaks gifts. Here are the filigrees. This is the new stuff. I looked earlier and I want to make sure. I'm just going to scroll through pretty quickly. They are all the same price, 10 gold and 50 silver. So it's not too bad. Not a huge requirement to get all of these. Just got to get enough keys to do it. And then, again, the keys are not bound. Last year's keys are still good. But if you buy a key from the store for however many points it is, those are bound. So keep that in mind, especially if you're going to do this event on hardcore. All right, so the Snow Peaks gift, there's a charisma, dexterity that kind of falls in line with the augments. So now this, a little speculation here on my part. There is the charisma and dexterity augments in Snow Peaks, and now there's a charisma and dexterity filigree. So does that mean in the future we're going to see filigrees with the events that match their augment types? I would like to see it. That would be nice. Just because I really love how much flexibility there is in character stuff here in DDO. Even more is even better. I do like it. So I hope we see that. I don't know if we're going to see that for sure, but I would like to see that. Um, there's also a movement speed one, one for imbue dice. There's dodge and max dodge. This one. With dodge, you get plus 1% dodge and maximum dodge. So that's really good. Cold spell power. Definitely going to try to get one of these for my cold druid life that I'm going through right now, because any boon to spell power is good. Try to get as much of that as possible. Cold absorption. This is a good one. Elemental absorption is good. There's a fair amount of sources for it. Having something that's all on is nice, and if you grind enough and you have special things just for raids, or you can slot this into an artifact, this would be really good in the Hunter Be Hunted raid. That will help absorb a lot of that cold knot that gets stacked on you. That's a good use for it that I can think of right offhand. In the hamstring ward, this is definitely going to get purchased by me and slotted somewhere, because I absolutely despise being hamstrung in this game. There's nothing more frustrating, and it always happens when I'm trying to run away to save my life. I get hamstrung and I can't move as fast, and then I die, and then I cry. I don't really cry, maybe a little. Anyways, I like this one, hamstring ward. So those are the filigrees that are available. The set bonus, you need 2 of them, and you get plus 10 positive, negative, and repair amplification. So two-piece set will give you essentially a bonus to your heal amp, whatever it is, whether it's positive, negative, or repair. That's nice. I like it when the 2-piece thing applies, if it's going to apply to healing amp, that it goes for positive, negative, and repair. All three types. Add a 3rd piece, you're going to get plus 10 universal spell power. It's nice, about on par with some of the other ones that I've seen for filigrees. And 4 pieces equipped, you are immune to most forms of the slow spell. That'd be nice. I don't know how viable it was going to be to have a 4-piece set. If you're already rocking maybe a 4 or 5-piece set from one of the other filigrees, or generations of filigrees. Anyways, 4-piece here. Could be a good secondary set, or maybe a good artifact set to have. It would be really good. The 2-piece applies to just about everybody. I don't know of any character that doesn't want more healing amplification. The 3-piece is a little too caster specific. 10 universal spell power. I mean, almost everybody's got a blue bar, especially in epics and legendary. So 10 universal spell power will help, but some people just aren't casting. So that's kind of like I play casters a lot, so that's good for me and all of us other casters. But for the melees, I don't really know what 10 universal spell power is going to do for you and for your build, if it's worth it to slot that 3rd piece. Other than to just get to the 4th piece, where you become immune to most forms of the slow spell. Now I don't know if this is just a wording, like, hey, there might be a version of the slow spell that from 2007 that might not get, that it's not going to protect you against, or or what. That's just that type of wording kind of frustrates me a little bit because you're like, oh, it's gonna, you have protection from this, except for some instances um, of it where you're immune to knockdown, but you can still get knocked down. Um, 4-piece set, 4 pieces. This is gonna be nice to have that, but again, that's a fairly heavy price to pay in terms of the filigree slots when we can have can't do the math. For 3 to 4 in an artifact plus 10, we can have a 14. So I mean, some builds will be able to squeeze it in there. I don't think a lot of builds will be able to squeeze a 4-piece set in there, but I think what would be nice is if there was a festival bonus set instead of Gift of the Snow Peaks. It was like a festival, a gift of the festival, a festivus for the rest of us, as it were. Where you could take a couple of the Snow Peaks ones and a couple of the Night Revels ones, and then one from Crystal Cove to come up with a 4-piece set that gave the bonus. Also, I don't see any rare versions of these that are available. So I know a lot of people prioritize rare filigrees. So that would have been nice. I don't know if there are any. I don't know if there's any plans to implement any type of rare filigree for this or coming festivals, and I really do hope that they continue to offer the filigrees for festivals. I think it's nice. And then of course we can trade in our gold to silver and our silver to bronze for a 1-to-1 there. So let's feel like one is missing here. We can take our golds and we can make them into silvers, and then we can make our silvers, turn them into bronzes. But our bronzes are just bronzes. I would really like and not a 1-to-1 on this one, but an upsell of them where it's 10 bronzes for a silver and 10 silver for a gold. That way, because you wind up with a lot of bronzes there, especially if you do the slide. And what are you going to spend your bronzes on? If I remember right, a whole lot of cookie. Cookies take bronzes. Everything else takes either silver or gold. So cookies are nice. I know some people use them a lot. They'll provide good buffs, but 10 bronze for a random cookie. I'm not all that excited about it, but it is what it is. Again, I would like to see the upwards conversion of festival tokens, items, coins. I want to say Crystal Cove had something like that, at least originally, where you could there was the 2-way trading street for those gems and stuff. It has been a long time since I run Crystal Cove. Anyways, that's Snow Peaks, the new loot. I don't remember if the forum or the post said when it was going to end. Yep, so through February 12th. So that is We have 2 full weeks of doing snow peaks. Um, so calendar wise, I'm coming up February 7th, the end of hardcore. So, if you're procrastinating like me on your character over there, you've got let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10 days to do that. Actually, less than 10 days. It's ending on the 7th, so you got 9 days and some change. And then the Sunday following the end of hardcore, which is the 12th, is when Snow Peaks ends. So a lot going on these couple weeks as far as events going on and ending. Not want to click on that. There are some store items you can get. The Elixir of Frosty Luck grants you an additional 5% bonus to the chance of finding Snow Peaks coins and keys from chests you loot. It's good for an hour. It pauses while you're in public areas. So, go back to my show notes here, and on that, okay. So we did cover update 57.2 release notes. We just got done talking about Snow Peaks. We talked about the producer's letter. Talked about the Severlin Q&A with Cordovon. And last but not least, and I mentioned it a couple of times, Arcaniverse interviewing Torque tonight on January 28th at 7 p.m. And that could be found at his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Arcaniverse. Fully copy the link and not the period, and paste that into chat. So there we go. There's a link. And again, that's happening at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is just about 4 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be happening in 3 hours. I don't know why that math tripped me up there. Probably because it was addition and simple. Usually the stuff I use the calculator for. Yeah, we covered all of that. More. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about this awesome game that I really love playing. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. The next show will most likely be on February 4th, next Saturday, at 3 p.m. Eastern, where I hope to be actually talking about some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about when I got into taking over this show. Character builds and quest knowledge, and I think the perfect one to start with will be the most recent content, which is the Morgrave University quest that can be accessed through Sharn. Take a look at that, because that is what is going to be built upon for our mini expansion coming in Q2, which there we go. This tab, the mini expansion Vecna Unleashed, is going to build on that. So start digging into the Morgrave University. We'll look at both the Peril of the Planar Eyes pack and the most recent one that came out that I cannot think of the name of. Hopefully we'll get all that done and investigated prior to Q2, or we'll be into Q2, I think, when we're done looking at that. But I want to try to get all of that done before the Vecna Unleashed thing comes out. See if we can pick up any hints, start speculation, fire up that good old rumor mill, right? This communication needs some more work for her on that one or something. I don't know. I'm rambling now. What happens when I start talking too long? But again, thanks to everybody who's listened. Thanks to all the people that have joined in chat. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next weekend.